हामीलाई त्यहाँ गएर पर्मानेन्ट रेजिडेन्ट हुन जति टाइम लाग्छ नि त्यति टाइममा यता घर बनिसक्छ के
काठमाडौँमा घर बन्छ यहाँ
काठमाडौँमा घर बन्छ गान्छी
काठमाडौँमा हाम्रो जेनेरेसनले काठमाडौँमा घर बनाउन सक्दैन
नोबडी यति धेरै आइएनजिओ आएर यहाँ काम रिसर्च किन गरिरहेको छ छिरो त्यो डर्टी गेममा द डर्टी गेमलाई क्लीन बनाऊ त्यही त हाम्रो रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटी
नमस्ते मेरो नाम प्रियान्शु पोखरेल म युएस मा करेन्टली ब्याचलर्स गर्दैछु
Shiwali. I just finished my bachelor's in international relations from Amity University, India, and currently I just founded another organization called AYD Nepal.
Because my आफै बाहिर छु मेरो ओपिनियन चेन्ज गर्न चाहिँ I think अलिकति गाह्रो नै पर्छ
because म बाहिर पढेर फर्केको छु I feel like my perspective on why we should stay in Nepal नेपालमै बस्नु पर्छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ is very staunch.
I would, you know, ask the opponent to stay a little cautious.
I might be convinced, but I will not be changed. So I hope whoever is here will keep that in mind. Hello.
Hi.
Nice
I'm Priyanshu.
Shiwali.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm like Hatsa, now what we're talking about. So I'm going to begin with मेरो idea of why we should stay in Nepal. Nepalबाट सब धेरै नै जना गइराछ अनि last fiscal year मा I think 600,000 people went immigrant workers भयो अरे. My perspective starts from सबैजना गयो भने बस्छ चाहिँ को गर्छ चाहिँ कसले ल ठीक छ you went, your parents went. बाकीको चाहिँ your grandparents, right? Grandparents लाई sustain कसले गर्छ? I know that government inefficiency is going to be one of the biggest कुरा that's going to come up here. The government inefficiency fix गर्न त पर्यो नि त कसैले. So त्यो inefficiency fix नभइसम्म त your grandparents, our grandparents will be in pain 24/7. त्यो lineage, I think त्यो hierarchy, त्यो chronology, I think हामीले बुझेको छैन के. And that's why I genuinely believe that हामी नेपालमै बस्नुपर्छ.
I think हाम्रो बुढापाखादेखि नै grandparentsहरू like you mentioned उहाँहरूले पनि एउटा ठाउँबाट अर्को ठाउँ सर्दै आउनु भएको except for like natives people त्यो चाहिँ it was because they struggled in a place and they realized अर्को ठाउँमा चाहिँ राम्रो opportunity छ राम्रो छ so that is why उहाँहरू पनि move गर्नु भएको हैन so many of them काठमाडौँकै population हेर्दा हुन्छ and now this is just like another type of migration
त्यही सोच यति धेरै मान्छेहरूको भइसकेपछि there is no one left to actually fix the things that needs to be fixed. I know. Kathmandu is basically a portal to leave outside, Nita. Just exactly like you said, everyone's come to Kathmandu for opportunities. Everyone leaves from Kathmandu for elsewhere. At one point, बाहिर गएर पनि हामीले introduce गर्ने त आफूलाई आमा नेपाली भनेर नै हो नि त जस्तो जे भने पनि नेपाली नै भनेर introduce गर्छ. Everyone will recognize as us सगरमाथाको देशबाट हो भनेर. But again, like what if that country doesn't have anyone identify गर्नलाई नै
I think we really need to see why do people want to leave. Ani this thing that you mentioned about fixing the country or like being present in the country, जहाँ चाहिँ तपाईले नै केही initiative लिएर आफ्नो देशलाई राम्रो बनाउनको लागि you make efforts to do that. त्यो चाहिँ हाम्रो education system ले नै it has never taught us to do that. It has never taught us to see a problem and solve it. It has only taught us that okay there is a problem that exists and you know awareness is important. हामी सबैले नि लेख्या हाम्रो social studies को सबै exam मा हैन awareness, lack of awareness is the problem. But what is the solution? And awareness is not the solution. Awareness पछि के आउँछ भन्ने चाहिँ कसैले पनि हामीलाई सिकाएको छैन and we don't have that initiative लिने mentality. We don't have that space where we feel like you know मैले आफैले आएर के गर्न सक्छु भन्ने किनभने everybody thinks एउटा कोही मसाया आउँछ balance जस्तै and everybody thinks he's going to fix everything. But that's not true. त्यसै देशको लागि भनेर बस्न मात्र त भएन नि त financial चाहियो पैसा चाहियो family लाई हेर्नु पर्यो and that's why they're leaving.
You talked about like economy not having like good support, you know. Hamro internationally Nepal doesn't have a lot of power.
Yeah.
I'll just quickly put in the fact that Henley passport index ma we're very low.
Yeah.
Even though we're not in any active conflicts, even though we don't pose any military threats to countries, something happens. World War III ensues, which I don't think is very far considering Russo-Ukraine and Israel-Palestine, you know. We don't have the power to sustain that. And even with all of these aspects, we're still considered very low passport index. त्यो किन भएको भन्दाखेरि everyone keeps migrating. Everyone keeps going outside and doesn't come back. I know. And that is the main reason that our economy fails. Because we keep importing from elsewhere. हाम्रो self-dependency becomes lower the lower our passport is. पढ्नलाई बाहिर पठाउँछौँ हामी घुम्नलाई बाहिर पठाउँछौँ घुम्न इज नट एन इस्यु पढ्नलाई इज नट एन इस्यु बट देन त्यो इन्भेस्ट गरेको पैसा फिर्ता पनि आउनु पर्यो नि त हाम्रो पेरेन्ट्सहरूले मजाले कमाउनु भयो हामीलाई बाहिर पठाइदिनु भयो पढ्नलाई विच इज एन एक्सपेन्सिभ टास्क होइन हामीले त्यो इन्भेस्टमेन्ट फिर्ता ल्याउँदैनौँ के सो इट्स जस्ट देयर इज ओन्ली इन्भेस्टमेन्ट देयर आर नो रिटर्न्सको कुरा पनि त हो नि त सो देयर सो मच मनी इन द इकोनोमी बट वी थ्रो इट आउट एन्ड वी डोन्ट हेभ एनिथिङ इन रिटर्न
I totally agree, I know, but again, it comes back to what you're saying about investment. Okay? Like, I fully invest on person, but who's investing in us? Why should I stay here when like nothing is supporting me? But you study, about schooling, this is bachelor's career, this is even master's career, you know, and then you go to the job market and then there's nothing for you. Or like the skill mismatch issue is so big that even if you decide, I know, and then you go into the job market and there's nothing for you. And why is that happening? Because nobody knows like your desma demand ke ko cha bhanera. Like nobody knows where do we need the manpower, where do we need the resources. Aile ekdamai IT ko boom chaleko cha haina. So like everybody, I think even Nepal mai basera pani I know that people are working in like foreign companies and they bhat paisa ल्याउँदै हुनुहुन्छ, but not everybody is a tech person, not everybody is going to go into IT, not everybody is going to go into graphic design or marketing or whatever. So yahi basne मान्छेहरुलाई चाहिँ what avenues are there त्यो सिकाउनको लागि चाहिँ छैन के
प्रब्लम के हो धेरै मान्छेलाई थाहा छैन हैन त्यो प्रब्लम सल्भ गर्न भन्दा अगाडि we need to talk about the problem हो चाहिँ के नि त हैन if the awareness programs they're efficient enough to inspire people to make them believe, to make them understand that problem देश मात्र हैन problem चाहिँ हामीले पनि सल्भ गर्न मिल्छ भन्ने कुरा that's how we can fix it नि त हैन
I want to come back but does the country want me back? And right now my answer is like no. हाम्रो आफ्नै like the initiative that I'm working on त्यहीको registration को लागि पनि कति like झमेला भइसक्यो के and then right now we're working with like हाम्रो universities are like funding us हैन registration गरेपछि when we take that legal route what happens is FDI को कुरा आउँछ and then FDI मै कति झमेला छ FDI foreign direct investment and foreign investment हरु को झमेला भएपछि now I'm like forced to leave the initiative that I started and forced to leave whatever I'm so passionate about. And so त्यो कसले solve मैले त solve गर्न सक्दिन नि त त्यो FDI को कुरा I'm not in that place but there needs to be someone.
Difference between us is that मेरो sense of responsibility towards the country is a lot higher than what yours might be. हुन्छ नि हाम्रो only power is cultural diplomacy, public diplomacy and the fact that we somehow balance two very huge countries beside us. त्यो भन्दा अरु हाम्रो डिफेन्स केही पनि छैन है अब त्यो एउटा डिफेन्स जुन कल्चर छ टुरिज्म छ त्यो प्रोटेक्ट गर्न पनि इट्स भेरी डिफिकल्ट विथ एभ्रीवन गोइङ आउटसाइड के मान्छेहरु यति जना नेपाल घुम्न आउनु पर्छ भन्छ यस्तो भन्छ उस्तो भन्छ but then त्यही त हो नेपालमा घुमाउनलाई नै मान्छे छैन के at this point in the end it will just be like I used to be from a country called Nepal भन्ने पर्ने सिचुएसन सम्म पुग्ला भन्ने चाहिँ I have a very big fear deep in my heart ke
I enjoy my culture today, I enjoy my culture tomorrow, but मेरो culture-ले मलाई identity दिए पनि is not giving me sustenance. यहाँ बसेर मेरो लागि के छ कसले गर्दिएको छ मलाई गभर्नमेन्टले गर्दिएको होस् कि मेरो सोसाइटीले गर्दिएको होस् कि कसले गर्दिएको छ के मलाई यहाँ so I need a better life for myself and I will go. Who is going to stop me? Nobody. So I believe that you know if you it's your free will तिमीलाई जान मन छ भने जाऊ.
I think everyone agrees अस्ट्रेलिया गएको मान्छे फर्किदैन तर अस्ट्रेलिया पठाउन कति एक्सपेन्स लाग्छ एकदमै धेरै है त्यो रिटर्न आउँदैन त्यो इन्भेस्टमेन्टै फिर्ता आउँदैन तिमी इन्डिभिजुअली यु थट हुन्छ नि म जान्छु म फिर्ता आउँदिन भनेको भए ठीक छ तर तिमी जस्तै देयर इज अ गजिलियन अदर पिपल नि त यति धेरै मान्छे छ करोडौं मान्छे बाहिर जान्छ फिर्ता आउँदैन भनेर भन्छ नि त हैन अब करोडौं मान्छे बाहिर गयो भने फिर्ता आएर त्यो बिग्रेको सिस्टमलाई सपारोस् कसले त्यो बिग्रेको सिस्टम छ भन्ने कुरा हामीलाई थाहा छ यसरी बिग्रेको छ यसरी बिग्रेको छ यसरी बिग्रेको छ त्यो पनि थाहा छ तर त्यो फिक्स गर्नलाई त कसैले पढेर फिर्ता आएर त्यो फिक्स गर्दिए त मान्छे बस्थ्यो नि त हैन मैले जुन कारणको लागि पढे जुन सोचेर जुन प्रब्लम रेकग्नाइज गरेर मैले पढे त्यो त युटिलाइज फिर्ता आएन नि त हैन
The only way the current country is sustaining is because of the money that is coming बाहिरबाट त्यो जुन foreign reserve छ 30%. You know what? मैले मेरो एउटा क्लासमा नै उतै बस्दाखेरि I did a data analysis project. जुनमा चाहिँ I looked at South Asian country मा कति remittance हुन्छ अनि त्यसमा कति % चाहिँ GDP मा account हुन्छ भनेर हैन. Nepal was the biggest among all South Asian countries. It was 25% in 2019 तिरको हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ. And that's insane. India ko chaina, Sri Lanka ko chaina, whatever. Kei ko chaina. It's less than like 10%, 5% even for those countries. Hamro ka are 25%. It just does not make sense for us to ask people to like stay in this country when they don't have any financial incentive to stay in this country. Okay? Money will buy you happiness. And people are seeking for that happiness.
It doesn't make sense for you to say that money buys happiness. Like it does a little, but that's very materialistic. Okay? Money song, like there's so many other things that go in. Family goes in, there's culture that goes in, there's language that goes in. Eti dhere jatra bhayera chha yo 2 mahina. Tyo jatraharu timle bahira betaउँदैन, okay? Like for example, you said you made a whole association outside of Nepal. You didn't have to do that if you just stayed in Nepal. Nepal mai छ त्यो सबै. है. अब ल पढ्न जाऊ, कमाऊ, फिर्ता आऊ न. तिमीले जे सिकेको छौ त्यो फिर्ता त ल्याऊ. फिर्ता नल्याइकन what are you thinking के तिम्रो family ल तिमीले आफ्नो close family लिएर गयो. तिम्रो बाकीको family छैन, तिम्रो extended family पनि त यही त छ नि. They're trying to survive somehow. अब त्यसको लागि त you need to have this responsibility, this mentality in your head that ल I'm identifying as a Nepali in this other country. मेरो देशमा म सबैजना लिएर जान खोज्दै छु. तर मेरो देशबाट सबैजना जाँदैछ. भनेपछि त्यो देशै बाँकी हुँदैन भने what identity do you have?
आउनुहोस् तपाई फिर्ता तपाईहरुको लागि यहाँ ठाउँ छ जागिर छ तपाईहरुको लागि there's opportunity to be entrepreneurs to start something new भनेको छ अहिलेसम्म भनेको छ
त्यही त त्यो भन्ने मान्छे छैन गभर्नमेन्ट सबजना बाहिर गइराछ त गभर्नमेन्टमा ल everyone's old we're young people entering the government is unseen except for 2-3 जना अहिले किन सबजनालाई बाहिर जान्छ ल you're saying गभर्नमेन्टले भनेछ त्यो गभर्नमेन्टमा छिर्ने मान्छे पनि त हामी नै त हो नि त्यो कुरा किन सबैजनाले बिर्सिराको म बुझ्दिन के
because like हामीलाई बच्चैदेखि नै you heard नेपालमा politics is a dirty game भनेको के
छिरौ त त्यो dirty game मा the dirty game like clean बनाऊ त्यही त हाम्रो responsibility
there's no incentive for you to get into a fucking dirty game के किन गर्ने when my life can be easier my life can be better बाहिर गएर when I can have money you don't want to be rich would you like give up all of like तपाईको money to stay in यहाँको छाप्रो and then like believe in a dream that हुन्छ नि that is not real that future नेपालको बन्छ future सबै दुनियाकै बन्छ future
the fact that most Nepali people until it's years after they've moved they live in tiny 1-bedroom apartments even though they have ekdamai thulo families haru ke yeah they have a house they have a flat I'm talking about the privileged people privileged
and I told you okay ke huncha privileged people most of them they don't go baira because they have everything here
they do
most of them do but
most politicians have their entire families set outside or in very huge posts है हामीलाई त्यहाँ गएर पर्मनेन्ट रेजिडेन्ट हुन जति टाइम लाग्छ नि त्यति टाइममा यता घर बनिसक्छ के
काठमाडौँमा घर बन्छ यहाँ
काठमाडौँमा घर बन्छ गान्छी
काठमाडौँमा घर
काठमाडौँमा
हाम्रो जेनेरेसनले काठमाडौँमा घर बनाउन सक्दैन that is a reality that you cannot argue I cannot argue मैले त्यो बाहिरको डलर नल्याएको भए मैले यहाँ घरै बनाउन सक्दैन how do you think यहाँ नेपाल काठमाडौँमा बनेको घरहरू are all financed by families जसको कोही न कोही member is बाहिर अहिलेको जेनेरेसनमा and they're sending money so that people can build a घर मेरो आधी लाइफ नै सक्यो without me experiencing anything के जान मन लाग्छ के मान्छेहरुले
that's not the country doing anything to you
freedom is one of the biggest thing why people are leaving freedom was social freedom was academic freedom was like sexual and reproductive freedom was anything yeah आफ्नो identity figure out गर्नलाई identity is not just being Nepali identity is so much more than that त्यो पब्लिकमा जुन सीन छ it's not घरको scene के तिमी when you are a queer person you're in your household you want to be with someone that you love you don't have that privilege you don't have that freedom you don't have to marry that person maybe you want to just explore त्यो man like मेरो कोहीसँग केटाकेटी हुन्छ नि रिलेसनशिपमा बस्न मन लाग्यो होला पहिला त केटी भएर केटासँगकै रिलेसनशिपको बारेमा पनि म कुरा गर्न सक्दिनँ मेरो घरमा अनि त्यसपछि 25 वर्ष पुग्यो त्यसपछि केटा छैन किन बिहे नगरेको भन्छ हैन त्यसपछि like you marry off with a stranger so त्यो like freedom छैन के यहाँ and unless you get that freedom like you can't stay here like people are seeking that freedom
it's the same argument with the country let's say the government and your parents are the same equivalents and we are just people Hamray responsibility ho hamro parents ko perspective change garnu unless we talk to them, unless we tell them, unless we bring the information that we have to them like we should to this country and to the government. Tyo perspective change hudaina, tyo same cycle ma ghumiraन्छ, tyo same cycle ma victimize bhaइराख्छ अनि the same cycle of हामी बाहिर जानु पर्छ हुन्छ के. So unless hamro generation at least suddenly thinks हैन यार अति बाहिर गयो यार, हैन यार देश डुब्न लागिसक्यो, देश नहुन लागिसक्यो, हराउन लागिसक्यो, that's not going to change ever. To individual agency, in order to change your parents' perspective, that individual agency, hamro deshko system change garna nabhayesamma everyone's going to keep thinking they need to go out, and that's why there's this sudden mentality ko snap that needs to happen, that everyone needs to stay in this country or at least come back with what they've learned. Hamro country ma astrophysicists ko ke pani chaina hai. That's because opportunity छैन भनेर सबजना बाहिर गयो. If someone comes in कुनै कलेजमा गएर म डिपार्टमेन्ट खोल्छु भनेर responsibility लियो and they bring in other Nepali people that have the same skills and come back, बाहिर जाने नेसेसिटी नै छैन के त्यसपछि.
त्यो लाइक त्यो पोइन्ट आफैले नै काउन्टर गर्छ किनभने नेपालमा यु थिंक रिसर्च हुन्छ, रिसर्च एन्ड डेभलपमेन्टको फिल्डमा युनिभर्सिटीमा रिसर्च एन्ड डेभलपमेन्टको सेक्टरै छैन.
नोबडी यति धेरै आइएनजिओ आएर यहाँ काम रिसर्च किन गरिरहेको छ? कल्चरको रिसर्च छ, नेचरको रिसर्च छ. There are so many INGOs नेपालमा, there are so many UN bodies नेपालमा.
But are universities doing that? Universities जहाँ you like build your researchers नेपालमै जो बसेर who want to do a research in Nepal and find the problem, see what the problem is.
That's why people need to come back. हामीसँग INGOs हरु छ, हामीलाई FDI दिने मान्छेहरु टन्नै छ.
No, FDI मा नि कति प्रब्लम छ, गभर्नमेन्टले यति धेरै इश्यूज बनाएको छ
so that FDI मान्छे चाहियो नि त.
मान्छे छ, there are people in the government but it's not happening के.
It's older people in the government that have the like point of view.
अहिले youthहरु आए पनि they've been like overpowered by these other people like you mentioned. I can't wait until I'm 40 to start a company के. त्यो हुँदैन.
That's a very unrealistic interpretation के. 40 सम्म कुर्नु पर्दैन. I have established my धेरै मान्छेहरुले आफ्नो कम्पनीजहरु एस्टाब्लिश गर्छन्. Like it's complicated but it's not impossible के.
Yeah,
I don't know why like perspective thought that it's impossible.
Company establish गर्ने मात्र हैन नि त, you need to have like a system to sustain it के. यहाँ बाटो नभएर you can't do delivery राम्ररी. You can't.
That's not an argument at all.
No, it is. अहिले सम्म like registration तपाईको आफ्नो एउटा company where you have like 2-3 people here, it might be different हैन, but सबैको situation is not the same. And to run a company it's not the same. And this is very important because entrepreneurs भएन भने, ecosystem भएन भने, देशको economy build हुँदैन, build भएन भने there's no job opportunities, there's nothing for people to do here. Nothing.
I think हाम्रो पुरै argument मा पनि we're still very opposite ends ma. Kinabhane I still do believe that Nepali आउनु पर्छ and that everyone keeps seeing problems matra, that the problems हरु opportunity बनाउन मिल्छ भन्ने कुरा recognize भएको छैन अझै पनि. And I really wish that त्यो mentality चाहिँ change हुन्थ्यो. भाग्ने मात्र is not the only solution. You need to reach the end goal at some point नि त.
मान्छेहरुलाई फिर्ता ल्याउनको लागि चाहिँ गभर्नमेन्टले नै के इन्सेन्टिभ ल्याउनु पर्छ, पोलिसीमै एउटा के रिफर्म हुनु पर्छ. त्यो नभएसम्म I personally don't see a reason to come back unless I have the privilege to come back. So it's the government at the end of the day and what you do. So that's my opinion.
A little bit of conversion but still 90% clash, definitely. उहाँले भन्नुभएको धेरै पोइन्ट्सहरु are true. कतिजनाको चोइस हुँदैन, तर त्यो अप्सन क्रिएट गर्नलाई फिर्ता आउनु पर्छ is very necessary. अनि त्यो फिर्ता आउनु पर्ने पोइन्टमा चाहिँ I'm still 90% still on that.
I think म still clash गर्छु किनभने अहिलेको लागि I don't see यहाँ मेरो लागि personally future or धेरैजना मान्छेहरु they don't see a future yet, त्यही भएर आउनु भएको छैन. I do agree that eventually if you have the privilege then आउनु नेपालले फर्किनु, के स्टार्ट गर्नु, आफ्नो लागि मात्र हैन कम्युनिटीलाई नि इम्प्याक्ट पार्नु. But त्यो नभएसम्म म कसैलाई पनि फिर्ता आउन भन्दिन if it means risking your आफ्नो personal stability. So त्यो नभएसम्म चाहिँ नआउनु, but त्यो छ भने आउनु, do something better here. Nepal needs you eventually.
Alright, so हाम्रो argument चाहिँ यही end हुन्छ. Obviously हाम्रो ideasहरु धेरै तलमाथि भइसक्यो, हाम्रो opinionsहरु हामीले present गरिसक्यो, and this discussion doesn't end here. हजुरहरुको thoughts चाहिँ
comment मा लेखिदिनु होला and please engage and let us know हजुरलाई के लाग्छ यो विषयमा. Thank you.